The group chat notification lit up my phone screen, casting a harsh blue glow across my face in the darkness of my apartment. My hands trembled as I opened the message, knowing that Christmas planning had begun. My mother Olivia's words appeared first. "Rhonda's hosting this year at her beautiful new home." The same home I had helped her secure with a $25,000 loan that was never mentioned again. Message after message flowed in. Nathan bringing his special whiskey collection, Wyatt promising homemade desserts, Patricia asking about gift exchanges. I typed, "What should I bring this year?" and watched the 3 dots appear and disappear multiple times. Then my phone rang. Olivia's name flashed on the screen. "You're not welcome at Christmas until you apologize to your Aunt Rhonda," my mother said, her voice slicing through me like winter wind. In the background, I heard my Uncle Nathan laugh. "She'll cave like always." The room tilted sideways as their words registered. 6 years of funding their perfect holidays, $67,000 spent making their Christmases magical, and I was being banned over asking why Rhonda needed grocery money after bragging about casino winnings. "My name is Madison. I'm 32 and a financial analyst. This is the story of how I transformed from the family ATM to the woman who unwrapped their lies on Christmas morning. For 6 years, I played Santa Claus to a family who never knew, or more accurately, never asked, where the expensive gifts under their tree really came from. It began when I was 26, freshly promoted at my investment firm. The money was decent after years of budget living and generic everything. That first Christmas, my mother called with her practiced guilt trip voice. "Madison, honey," Olivia had sighed dramatically, "you know how tight things are for your cousins. Wyatt lost his job again, and little Brianna's been asking for that dollhouse." I remember the silence hanging between us, heavy as holiday expectation. "Could you maybe help out, just this once?" I stood in my sparsely furnished apartment, remembering my own childhood wishes that never materialized. "Of course, Mom. How much do you need?" "Just a couple hundred." That couple hundred became 800 by Christmas Eve. I purchased Brianna's dollhouse, Wyatt's son Dylan a bike, and added extra gifts so no one felt overlooked. Watching Brianna's face illuminate with joy made every maxed-out credit card seem worthwhile. But here's what happens when you're generous with people who only know how to take: they mistake kindness for obligation. The next year, Olivia called in November. "Madison, you were so wonderful last Christmas. The kids still talk about their gifts. Could you work your magic again?" Your magic. As if I possessed some mystical power rather than a dwindling bank account and increasing credit card debt. By year 3, the requests weren't even phrased as questions. Olivia texted me Amazon links labeled "Dylan needs this for school" and "Rhonda's been eyeing this purse." I transformed from family member to funding source, the invisible hand making their celebrations possible. They'd pose for social media photos, arms wrapped around gifts I'd purchased, with captions like "So blessed by family generosity." Meanwhile, at family gatherings, they'd joke about how Madison's too focused on her career to understand the joy of giving. I understood perfectly. I was giving everything while they took credit. By year 6, I was spending nearly $15,000 annually on relatives who treated me like an inconvenient obligation. I'd arrive at holidays exhausted from extra shifts only to watch them unwrap my gifts and thank each other. The worst part? I kept doing it, hoping that maybe this time someone would notice. Maybe this time I'd feel like I belonged instead of feeling like hired help. But belonging was never their plan. I was just a wallet with legs. The night of my mother's call, I sat in stunned silence, waiting for someone, anyone, to message me privately, to say this banishment was insane, that 6 years of generosity meant something. My phone remained silent. For 3 nights, I couldn't sleep. I replayed every Christmas, every birthday, every family gathering where I'd smiled through gritted teeth while being treated as an afterthought. On the 4th night, something inside me fractured. I opened my laptop and pulled up my financial records, 6 years of Amazon orders, credit card statements, PayPal transfers, everything meticulously organized because, well, financial analyst. The numbers made me physically ill. $67,432. I'd spent more on my family than most people spend on a car, for people who had just banned me from Christmas dinner. I began printing. Every receipt, every order confirmation, every transfer. The stack grew higher, a paper monument to my exploitation. As I printed, I planned. They didn't just expect gifts. They expected specific gifts. The expensive ones. Dylan's gaming console, Brianna's art supplies, Fiona's designer clothes, Wyatt's tools, Rhonda's jewelry, Nathan's whiskey collection. The gifts that made Christmas magical. All ordered through my accounts. All with my payment methods. All cancelable. I grabbed my phone and began systematically removing their Christmas magic, purchase by purchase. Dylan's $500 gaming system, cancelled. Brianna's professional art easel and supplies, cancelled. Fiona's designer boots she'd begged for, cancelled. Rhonda's diamond earrings, cancelled. Nathan's aged whiskey collection, cancelled. Every major gift, gone. They'd be left with the cheap backup presents they'd grabbed at the last minute, drugstore candy and clearance sweaters. But I wasn't finished. I'd been documenting everything without realizing it. Photos of family gatherings with my gifts prominently displayed, screenshots of their social media posts praising family generosity, text messages where they'd requested specific items. I compiled it all into a digital folder. 6 years of evidence proving their perfect Christmases were built on my credit cards and their deception. As I worked through the night, I experienced something I hadn't felt in years: power. For once, I wasn't being used. I was making the rules. Christmas was 12 days away. 12 days for them to discover that Santa was real, and she was done with their exploitation. Christmas Eve, my phone buzzed constantly with photos from their celebration. The tree, the decorations, the family gathered in matching pajamas I'd bought 2 years earlier. Everyone looked so happy, so expectant. I wasn't there. But then again, neither were their gifts. Christmas morning arrived grey and cold. I made myself coffee and settled in to wait. I knew it wouldn't take long. 7:47 a.m. First text from Olivia. Madison, did you order Dylan's gaming system? It never arrived. 8:05 a.m. Rhonda, the jewelry I ordered isn't here either. Did you use a different delivery service? I almost laughed. They still thought their gifts came from each other. 9:15 a.m. Wyatt, half our gifts are missing. This is a disaster. Then silence. I pictured them around that tree, staring at a handful of cheap presents, trying to comprehend where Christmas had vanished to. At 10 a.m., my phone rang. Olivia, of course. Madison. Her voice cracked with panic. Something's wrong. All the good gifts are missing. Did you do something? I don't know what you mean, Mom. I wasn't invited. Remember. Don't play games with me. If you cancelled orders out of spite. What orders? I asked innocently. The ones you placed? The ones Rhonda placed? I'm confused about why you're calling me about your missing gifts. The silence stretched long enough for me to hear children crying in the background. Madison, please. The kids are upset. We can work this out. Can we? Because last I checked, I wasn't welcome until I apologized to Rhonda. Have the rules changed? I hung up. The messages flooded in afterward: anger, confusion, bargaining, denial, but not one apology, not one acknowledgement of what they'd done. That evening, I sent one message to the family group chat, a photo of my computer screen displaying 6 years of receipts, purchases, and financial records, all organized, all highlighted, all undeniably mine. The caption read, "Merry Christmas from your secret Santa. Hope you enjoyed 6 years of my generosity. Unfortunately, Santa has retired permanently." Then I left the group chat. The following days brought a parade of responses: outrage from Rhonda, guilt trips from Olivia, attempted manipulation from Nathan, and surprisingly, understanding from some of the younger cousins who'd started piecing the puzzle together. Brianna, now 16, texted me privately. "I remember you always asking what I wanted for Christmas. It was you, wasn't it? All those years." "Yes," Sweetheart. It was me. I'm sorry they treated you like that. Thank you for everything. That message made me cry harder than anything else because it reminded me why I'd started giving in the first place. Love, not obligation. A week later, Olivia appeared at my apartment door. She looked older, depleted. Madison, we need to talk. Do we? You can't just abandon the family. We're your family. Family doesn't ban someone for telling the truth, Mom. Family doesn't mock someone behind their back while taking their money. Family doesn't demand apologies for their own bad behavior. She was quiet for a long time. Then we didn't know it was you. You didn't ask. For 6 years, you didn't ask who was making Christmas magical. You just took credit and kept your hands out for more. What do you want from us, Madison? Nothing, I said, and meant it. I want absolutely nothing from any of you anymore. She left without another word. This past Christmas was my first in 7 years spent on my own terms. I bought myself gifts. I decorated my apartment with lights that made me happy. I invited friends who actually wanted my company, not my checkbook. For the first time in years, I laughed on Christmas morning. Real laughter, not the strained smile I'd worn to family gatherings. I don't regret what I did. I don't regret exposing the truth. And I'll never regret putting myself first. Because here's what I learned. Love without respect isn't love. It's exploitation wrapped in holiday ribbon. Sometimes the greatest gift you can give yourself is freedom. From manipulation, from obligation, from people who mistake your kindness for weakness. If you've ever been the family ATM, if you've ever been excluded from events you secretly funded, know this. You're not alone. And remember, you are never required to set yourself on fire to keep others warm, especially when they're the ones holding the matches.